Hello, my name is Katie Huber and I work with Campus Recreation. Today I am going to lead you through about a 45-minute yoga practice. One thing to remember as we get started is that this is really your practice. So it's important for you to listen to yourself and your body and do what feels right for you. So if there's any movements that we're doing that doesn't feel right, you can leave it out or change the movement to make it work for you. As far as equipment goes, I do have a yoga mat. I also have a blanket and some yoga blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books or some kind of block-like item that's easy for you to move throughout the practice. If you don't have any of these items, you just need a little bit of space and some place that you feel comfortable either standing or sitting on top of. So we'll get started. You can start by finding any comfortable seat. I'm going to sit on top of my blanket. You can sit with your legs crossed. If it feels more comfortable for you to sit with your legs out long, you can do that. You can also sit into a chair. So take some time and figure out a seat that's going to allow you to sit here for a few minutes. We're going to start with some breathing exercises. So place your hands where they feel comfortable and then start to sit up really tall. So we'll try our best to stack the shoulders right above the hips and the head right above the shoulders. Relax the hands. If it would feel comfortable for you to close your eyes, you can close your eyes here. Or you could look towards the floor. To start our practice, start to tune into yourself. Notice how your body feels physically. Maybe take a moment to check in, see how you're feeling emotionally. Notice what thoughts are popping up in your mind. See if you can start to tune into this moment. Allow yourself to be fully present here in your space or on your mat or wherever you are right now. Start to breathe a little bit more fully. So taking some intentional breaths, breathing in through the nose, filling up the lungs and the ribs, sending the breath all the way down to the belly, and then once you're ready, you can let it go out through the mouth. Just keep breathing this way. Get to notice how it feels to breathe a little bit more fully. You can even make a sound on your exhale. And then from here, if you want to try breathing in and out through the nose, extending the inhales and extending the exhales. Try to create some steadiness to the breath. But of course, if you need to, or you want to take an extra breath or breathe through the mouth, you do that. You are in charge here today, every day. You can feel free to keep your eyes closed, or you can blink your eyes open. Right, we'll start to take some gentle movements. We'll take a couple big shoulder rolls. So as you continue breathing, right, we'll take a couple big shoulder rolls, maybe inhaling to bring your shoulders up towards the ears, exhaling to relax the shoulders down. Just notice how you feel in the shoulders. Sometimes if we're sitting for long periods, maybe looking at our screens, like we can have a tendency to kind of lean over. See if you can really create some space for the chest, for the shoulders. And we'll bring shoulders up towards the ears, and we'll try to allow the shoulders to relax down the back. sit up even taller. And breathe here. From here, we'll take a big inhale. Stretch the arms out wide, up and around. Reach the fingertips towards the sky. Try to relax the shoulders without forcing them. And then on your exhale, we'll twist to the right. Right hand comes down behind you. Left hand comes to outside of the thigh. Now you can do this if you're sitting in a chair. Just make sure you have some space. Kind of twist, sit up tall, open up through the chest, draw the shoulder blades together on your back. And then always coming back to the breath, checking in. And inhale, come back through center. We'll reach the arms high as you exhale, twist to the left. We'll sit up really tall. Draw the shoulder blades together. See if you can lengthen and lift all the way through the chest. Breathe. Good. Inhale, come back through the center. Reach the arms high. We'll take the right hand, reach it down to the outside of your hip, maybe touching onto the floor of your mat. Start to crawl the hand away from you. We'll take a stretch over to the right, but notice how you feel through the left side of your body. So from your hip to the shoulder, you can look straight ahead. You can also start to look up. Or if it feels better for your neck, you can start to look down. Two more breaths. See if you can find a little bit more space, lengthening through the side body. And then we'll reach up, switch sides, so the hand comes down. Reach up towards the ceiling. We'll take a side bend over towards the left. And as we're sitting here, see if you can keep kind of trying to root down into your seat, meaning giving a little bit more strength as you root down. That allows you to stretch and lengthen a little bit more. One more breath. Good. Inhale, we'll come back through the center. Bring your hands to your knees. We'll take some seated cat and cow poses. So on your inhale, we're going to lift through the chest, draw the shoulder blades back. Maybe you start to look up. As you exhale, be strong in your arms. You're going to start to round in on yourself. So draw your chin toward your chest. Inhale, sit up tall. Open up through the chest. The shoulders will draw back. Exhale to round in. Chin comes towards the chest. We've got two more times. Inhale to lift, open up through the chest. Exhale to round in. One more time. Inhale to lift. And then exhale, round in. Good. From here, we're going to come off of our seat. We're going to find a space that we can come into a child's pose. So if you want to use your blanket, you can. Or you can push that off to the side. So in a child's pose, you can start to bring the knees a little bit wider, right, wider than your body. And then you can bring the big toes together to touch. Start to move the hips back towards the heels. They may not touch, that's okay. Right? But start to draw the hips back. And then we'll start to crawl the hands forward, walking them forward. If your head can rest onto the mat, you can bring your head down. Right? We're just trying to let the head relax. If you do have a block, a yoga block, or a book, you can also give yourself a little support here underneath your head. We just would be putting our forehead on this, to making sure you have some space to breathe. Two more breaths. Imagine that you're really filling up your body with breath. Expanding the ribs in all directions. Even trying to fill up the belly with breath. From here, if you have your block, you're going to actually bring it with you. Right? You're going to start to crawl your hands to the right side. So you're going to walk your hands over to the right side, right, and take a little stretch here. Keep pressing down right through the hip. Just see if you can take that stretch here through the left side of the body. And then we'll come back through center. We'll do the same on the opposite side. Start to crawl the hands over towards the left as far as that feels comfortable for you. And then start to press the hips back. One more breath. And then we'll come back through the center. Right, we're going to plant the hands. We'll tuck the toes and start to come into a downward facing dog. So we won't be here too long. Your hands are going to walk a little bit further ahead of your shoulders. You're going to spread the fingers wide. Tuck the toes, start to send the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Okay, so see if you can get strong through the arms. And take a moment here, you can pedal out through the feet. All right, so bending one knee, then bending the other. If you want to take a little sway of the hips from side to side, you can. And then from here, we're going to take a walk to the top of the mat. So at some point, you may need to bend your knees. Go ahead and do that. Bend your knees as much as you need to feel comfortable here. And then see if you can relax the upper body, relax the head. If you want, you can grab opposite elbows and take a little sway from side to side. Be really gentle with yourself here. You can shake your head yes. And shake your head no. We'll release the hands back down towards the floor. As you inhale, we'll take a halfway lift. Lengthen the spine halfway. Right, we're going to get strong here. Right, so drawing in through the belly, so feeling some strength happen through the abdominal muscles. We'll bring the shoulder blades together on your back. So we're squeezing the shoulder blades a little further together. You're going to reach the crown of your head, the top of your head forward. Exhale to fold. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Right, we'll reach the arms high overhead. Take a big sweep. And then exhale, bring your hands towards your sides. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. And then as you exhale, you're going to send your hips back. We'll take a big swan dive. So the arms are going to reach out wide. Forward fold. We'll inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms high overhead. And as you exhale, bend the knees a little bit, right? And you can fold from here. One more time. Inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. We'll bring the hands together. Bring them down towards the heart and then by your sides. See how tall you can stand. Once again, stacking your shoulders right above the hips, head right above the shoulders. Right, we'll start the shoulder blades, give them a little squeeze, open up through the chest. And we'll bring some strength into our abdominal muscles. Take 3 breaths here. So we always come back to our breathing. Right, this gives us a chance to check in with ourselves physically. Right? And also mentally checking in. Notice how this feels. Good, inhale, big sweep, reach the arms high overhead. As you exhale, we're going to take a big swan dive fold once again. From here, we're going to take the right foot, step the right foot back, lower the right knee down. This is where you can pad up. So if you have your blanket, you can pad up under your knee, right? Or something to help you feel a little bit more comfortable with your knee down onto your mat or to the floor. We'll try to get strong through the legs here, right? So press down through the left foot, hug the thighs right towards your center, right? So we're going to get strong through the legs and then inhale, reach the arms high overhead. Lengthen and lift through the chest, lift through the spine. Breathe here. As an option, right, you can take your hands out into goalpost arms. So we're going to bring our arms toward our side, lift through the chest. Right, maybe your gaze starts to lift. We're still having some strength into our abdominal muscles as we do this. Opening up a little bit more here. Good. As you exhale, plant the hands. We're going to step back. So we're going to lift the back knee. And we're going to step back to a high plank or top of a push-up. Anytime we come back to this shape, you can always lower down to your knees, right? So make it work for you. Wherever you are, check out your hands. They're about shoulder distance apart. My shoulders are stacking over my wrist creases, right? I'm strong through the legs, lift through the back. of the head. And we'll breathe here, 3 breaths. Notice how strong you can be right here in this moment. And from here, we'll all lower the knees. And then slightly shift your weight forward. Shift the hips forward. Shoulders will go back. Bend the elbows straight back. Lower all the way down to the belly. From here, we'll untuck the toes. Press into the tops of the feet. Inhale to lift through the chest, Cobra Pose. Hug the elbows towards each other. Hug the shoulder blades towards each other so you can lengthen the neck. Exhale to lower. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale to lower. Nice, 1 more time. Inhale, Cobra. And then exhale, tuck the toes. We'll bring ourselves back to downward facing dog. So you can pass through a tabletop with your knees down and then come to downward facing dog or move straight to down dog. From here, we'll walk again back to the top of the mat. Plant your feet about hip distance. As you inhale, lengthen the spine halfway. Lift and then exhale, fold. Strong through your legs. Inhale, big reach, arms reach high overhead. We'll exhale, fold right back down over the toes. From here, we're going to take a big step back with our left leg and start to lower the left knee down. Again, this is where you can use your blanket if you have one, right underneath your knee. You can always use that, again, up to you how you want to make these shapes more comfortable for you. Right, from here, we'll inhale to reach the arms high overhead. See if you can keep your knee and ankle kind of in a line here. We're going to lift the low belly, so feel some strength happening through the low belly. Still breathing, right? Arms reach high. Again, option here if you want to kind of explore, see how this feels. Open up the arms off to the side like a goalpost shape. Right? Lift through the chest. Maybe you start to look up. 2 more breaths. And 1, reach the arms high. We'll plant the hands. Once again, we're going to step back to our high plank or top of a push-up. Right? So setting up with your hands underneath the shoulders, right? Ground down through the hands, press the heels back, crown of the head reaches forward. See if you can lift through the back of the head. We'll be breathing once again for 3 breaths. 1 more. And then you can either lower the knees down first, or this time keep the knees lifted. We lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes here. On an inhale, we'll lift the chest. Hug the elbows towards each other. Good. As you exhale, tuck the toes, you can pass through your table or move right into your downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to walk our feet forward once again, bending the knees as much as you need to. We'll plant the feet, take an inhale, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Big inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. Hands come to the heart. Right? And then hands by your side for our mountain pose. Right, so we're strong into the legs. Lift it through the chest. Draw the shoulder blades together and breathe. Tune back into the breath. 2 more breaths. Good. Blink the eyes open. On an inhale here, we'll come to a chair pose. So send the hips back. Right? I'll space you for a second. So our knees are still tracking in line with our toes. My feet are about hip distance. You can also bring your big toes together to touch. Right? So we're coming into this chair pose. Right? It's also known as intense pose. Right? So this can start to kind of take a moment where it could start to feel a little challenging, right? See if you can breathe through the challenge, really pay attention to your breathing here. Right? Lift through the chest for 3, 2, and 1. Let that go, forward fold. Right, from here, we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. Plant the hands, step back, down dog. Right. Low belly drawing in and up. On your inhale, sweep the right leg high. We'll step that right leg through in between the hands and start to open up to a warrior two. So the back heel is going to spin down, right, towards the blade edge side of the back foot, and then we'll reach into our warrior two. Bend into the front knee. Take a peek at your front knee. Make sure it's tracking over the middle two toes. Right, our arms are reaching out long. Lifted through the chest. You're gazing over your front fingertips. Good. From here, we'll flip the front palm, reach up and back, reverse warrior. Right, keep bending into the front knee. Notice how you feel through the right hip all the way up to the right shoulder. We're still trying to stay a little bit strong through the core, through our center. As you exhale, take a side angle, right elbow, right knee, left arm reaches straight up, or you can sweep the arm forward and reach the fingertips forward. My pinky is starting to spin down. So you can open up through the chest here. We're strong into the legs. Take another big breath. From here, we'll come back to our reverse warrior, reach the right arm up and back. And then as you exhale, we'll start to cartwheel the hands, touch down to the floor. We'll step back to our high plank, top of a push-up, right? And your option here, you can lower down to your knees first or lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale for a cobra. Exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Nice. From here, we'll take the left leg, sweep the left leg high. Right? And then step it through in between your hands. So we're trying to create alignment here so the knee and ankle line up. If your foot kind of gets caught up somewhere in the middle, don't worry about it. We can help guide the foot forward. You can take a few more steps to get there. Right? We're setting up for our warrior two. So the back heel is going to spin down. It's about even with the back side of your mat. And then when you're ready, open up to that warrior two. Arms reach out long. You're bending into the left knee. Lifted through the chest, crown of the head trying to reach towards the sky. From here, we'll flip the front palm, reach up and back, reverse warrior. Breathe here. We'll keep the legs just like they are and start to move your left elbow towards your left knee. We'll sweep the right arm high, or you can take your right hand and start to bring it forward, spinning the palm to face down. The pinky starting to spin down. Open up through the chest. Very nice, everybody. One more breath. And then we'll come back up. Sweep the left hand up and back one more time. And then as you exhale, cartwheel the hands down, touch the floor. From here, step back to a high plank. So check in with yourself here. You can move, or you can go right ahead into your downward facing dog. You want to take some movement here. We're going to exhale to lower. Keep the tips of your shoulders lifted strong through your center. And then untuck the toes. Inhale, we lift into a cobra. And then exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. Let's take a reset breath here. So big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth, let it go. Try that one more time. Big inhale through the nose. Big exhale out through the mouth, let it go. From here, bend into your knees. Take a look forward. You can step your way to the top of the mat like we've been doing. If you want to try a little hop, keep the arms strong, keep the hips lifted. We hop our way to the top. And then once you get to the top, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, big sweep, arms reach high overhead. This time we'll bring our hands together in front of the heart. Pause here for a moment. So finding our way to some balance, right? We're going to stay strong and rooted through the right leg, right? And see if you can lift the left knee for a couple breaths. Stay strong in your standing leg. Bring the shoulders back. Right? Low belly pulling in. Now you can take a big step, slow motion step back. If you need to take a break, your foot can come down at any time, right? You can take a big step back, slow motion, finding some balance. Reach the crown of the head forward, step that back leg back. Nice, we'll find our footing, right? So you may need to adjust once you get there. Inhale to lift the chest. Arms can reach high overhead. From here, option, you can take a little back bend, right? So like we did before, bend the elbows off to the side. See if you can lift through the chest a little bit more. Good, reach the arms high. We'll open up to a warrior two. Right? From here, we're gonna start to straighten out through that right leg. So you notice our legs are kind of creating a triangle shape. I'm gonna scoot my back foot in a little bit more. Right, so I'm shortening my stance a little bit here. Find a stance that feels really stable for you. Right, the hips are gonna stay where they are. You're gonna start to send the right arm forward, 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 and then hand comes down either to the shin. It could be the floor. It could also be your thigh, right? So find a shape that allows you to open up through the chest, right? So we're almost like our shoulders are stacking on top of each other. Left arm reaches high. Try to keep a little bend in both your knees. Check in with your neck here. Notice where it makes sense for you to look, right? So sometimes looking at the floor can feel a lot better for the neck. Sometimes it can feel better to look straight on, or you can look towards the fingertips. Breathe. Good. From here, we'll come back up to a T. Right, we're going to turn on that right heel. Turn the toes to face the long side of your mat. Hands will come to your hips for a wide angle. Ground down through your feet. Lift through the chest. Start to hug the shoulder blades together. Right from here, we'll start to fold. You can release your hands to the floor. If you have a block or a book or something that you can use here for some support, right? So if you find that your hands are kind of hanging in space, you can use support here for your hands. Right, wherever you are, try to allow your head to relax, right? Let the neck relax. We'll take 3 more breaths. And 1, bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up. We're actually going to take our triangle to the left. So you're going to dial the left toes towards the left. Right? My knee and my toes are facing the same direction. I'm going to scoot my back foot in a little bit. Arms come out to that long T shape. We're going to send the left arm forward, forward, forward. And then the left hand comes down, right arm reaches high. Triangle pose. Right? Keep a little soft bend in the knees. See if you can keep lifting the chest. And then breathe. And then check in with yourself. Notice the thoughts, right, that are coming up for you, right, the feelings, the sensations, right, we're building awareness here. Good, as you reach back up, come back up, right, we'll turn back to that wide angle, right, option to lace the fingertips behind the low back, or you can keep your hands on your hips. We'll squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other, fists pressed towards the floor. Maybe take a look up, and then exhale, start to fold. Again, see if you can let the head be heavy. Strong breathing, and see if you can ground down through your feet. So notice how it feels to be really strong in your stance, and you're pressing your feet down into the floor, trying to lift the hips a little bit here. Good, and then release the hands back towards the floor. We'll get strong through the abdominal muscles, hands come to hips, and then inhale, come all the way back up. We'll keep it really simple. We're gonna step to the top of the mat, right? So stepping back to the top of the mat, standing in your mountain pose, we'll take a big inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. Exhale to fold over the toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll come all the way back up. Big reach, arms reach high, hands come to the heart. All right, so working balance here. You're gonna press into your left foot, right? And then finding balance by lifting the right knee. Pause here, see how tall you can be here. Ground through the left leg. Now, remember, you can take your foot down at any time. Little bend in the standing leg will take a slow motion step back. So stepping your right foot all the way to the back of the mat, or planted with the left foot. Good. On your inhale, sweep the arms high overhead. Right. We'll bend the elbows off to the side, lift through the chest. Take 3 breaths there. One more breath. This time we're going to actually take our hands back down to the floor. We're going to step the feet back into our high plank, and then we're going to lower all the way down to the belly. And then let yourself just kind of settle here for a moment or two. Untuck the toes, right? You can set your forehead down onto the mat, or maybe your chin down onto the mat, but let your head rest for a moment. You may even want to rest your head to one side. Take this time to feel the connection of your body to the mat, to the floor. Good, then we'll bring our chin or forehead back through center. We'll press into the tops of the feet, setting up for a locust pose. So press into the tops of the feet, engage through the legs. So you may not be able to notice, but my knees are actually starting to lift off the floor because my legs are engaged, right? Hips are gonna stay heavy and connected to the mat. You're going to start to feel some strength happening from your abdominal muscles, so feel a little draw in there. We'll start to lift the chest. Right? It doesn't have to be high, right? Feel the sensation of lifting and strengthening your back to lift the chest off the floor. The fingertips can reach back, right? Maybe hugging the elbows towards each other a little bit more. Slight little tuck of the chin will start to lift the feet if that feels comfortable for you. Right? And then as you're here in this shape, see if you can come back to your breathing. Check in with your breath. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down, rest your cheek to one side. If you want, you can bend your knees and sway the feet gently from side to side. Good, we'll lengthen the legs out long once again. And then the option here is to lace your fingertips behind the low back, right? Press into the tops of the feet, right? Your chin or your forehead come through center, just like we did before. We'll start to press the fist back. If this doesn't feel great for your shoulders, arms can reach out long. And then option here to lift the toes. See how long you can get from the crown of your head all the way back towards the toes. We'll breathe for 3, for 2, and 1. Rest your cheek to the opposite side. Just let that go. You can also bend your knees if you want and take a little gentle sway from side to side. Good. From here, we'll lengthen the legs out long. You'll start to walk your hands back. Tuck the toes. We're going to press back into a child's pose. For just a few breaths, you can keep your untucked. Come back to our breathing. Good. We'll take one more breath. And then from here, you're going to start to walk your hands back towards the body. We'll slowly come up, right? You're going to shift your way around to your side and let the legs come out long in front of you. From here, you can use your blanket again to give yourself a little bit of support. So the reason I will use my blanket, it helps to give me some space to lengthen the spine. So if you find that you're kind of rounding into your low back, sometimes a blanket can help you, right, to give you a little bit more lift. Okay, so we'll take the right leg long, sole of the left foot will press into the right thigh. Right, we'll sit up tall, and then inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. You're going to turn your torso slightly over the lengthened leg and start to fold here. Right, so let the hands come down. Once you start to notice that you may be rounding in your spine, pull yourself out of this, right? And sit to a place that feels like you can maintain all of that length in your spine. Keep flexing your foot. You're going to point your toe back toward you. One more breath. And slowly start to sit up tall. Right, we're going to switch sides here. Left leg goes long, right sole of the foot presses into the thigh. Inhale, we'll start to sweep the arms high overhead. Turn slightly towards the torso. We'll lengthen over the legs. So taking a fold here. Right, we're going to try to keep the spine really long. You may even want to close your eyes here. So encourage yourself to check back in. Try to relax the muscles of the face and the jaw. We'll start to sit up tall once again. From here, we'll draw the soles of the feet together. The knees will come out wide. Your feet can come as close or as far away as feel comfortable. We'll reach for the outside of the feet. And then inhale to sit up tall, start to draw the shoulders back. And again, with a long spine, we start to fold forward. Three more breaths. You start to sit up tall. We'll draw the knees together and plant the feet. I'm going to come off of my blanket. Right, you're going to plant the feet, reach the arms out long. Bring some strength into your abdominal muscles. We'll slowly start to lower down. Right, so you may need to round the spine a little bit here. Right, we're breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Rest your head. You can start to walk the feet a little bit closer towards you, right? As long as that feels comfortable, arms reach by your sides, right? Opening up across the chest. So feel some strength happening to the abdominal muscles, right? You're gonna press your low back towards the floor. And as you lift up, press, as you lift your hips up, you're gonna press down through your feet to lift the hips up for a bridge pose. Your eyes are gonna be looking straight at the ceiling. Right, we want to protect our neck here. Right, your chin comes away from your neck. And you can start to wiggle the shoulders underneath you a little bit more. If you have the space, you can clasp the hands, or you can simply press the arms down into the floor by your sides. I'm using my glutes, my hamstrings here to lift and breathe. And 1, slowly lower down. From here, we're going to walk, or we're not going to walk, we're going to reach the arms out long. Right? You're going to walk the feet a little bit wider, and then you're just going to sway your knees from side to side. Gentle sway. From here, you're going to walk your feet back in. Right, we're going to take a figure 4 stretch. So right leg reaches up. You're going to flex your foot and cross it over your left thigh. You're going to take your right hand and press the thigh away from you. And just feel how that feels through the hips here. So I'm trying to keep both hips grounded towards the floor. And then the option here is to reach through that little window, reach for the outside of your left thigh and start to draw the thigh a little closer toward you until you feel some sensations or until you feel a stretch. Try to rest your head, try to relax the shoulders. And you can, if you'd like, you can start to straighten the left leg for a little extra hamstring stretch. Right? I'm flexing and pointing my foot. Good, we'll plant the foot and we'll switch sides. So cross the left foot over the right thigh, flex the foot. You're going to start by just gently pressing the thigh away from you. Excuse me. And then the option here is to reach for the back of the right thigh. Right? And you can, again, draw the leg a little bit closer towards you, right, until the point where you feel some sensations of stretch. Right? We're never trying to force anything here. And your option is to send that right leg long towards the sky. You can point the toes and then flex the foot. From here, we'll lower down. We'll plant both feet. You're going to hug the thighs towards each other. Arms, again, come out to a T. You're going to scoot the hips over towards the right. And then the knees, we're just going to fall to the left for a twist. And this is where you can start to give yourself permission to really relax into these shapes. You don't really need to put much effort into this, right? We have the floor beneath us, supporting us. You can allow the shoulders to relax. Notice your breathing here. From here, we'll switch sides. Okay, scoot the hips to the left. You can bring your knees to the right. You're ready, bring yourself back through center. And then we'll actually completely roll over to one side. So we're setting up for our final resting position. Now you can do this completely lying down in a more kind of traditional Shavasana shape. You can also take some time to sit and breathe. Right, but take as long as you'd like. And when you're done, you'll sit up really tall. Just like we started our practice here. Pay attention to the breath. Bring our hands together in a gesture of gratitude. We'll take one big breath together, inhaling through the nose for a count of 3, 2, 1. Big exhale, let it go. I want to say thank you to all of you for participating, for sharing in this practice. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.